Yo, what is up everybody? It is MF Buddy, and in today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down some more zero build gameplay. By the end of this video, you're gonna be walking away with a couple things that are going to shift the way that you play Fortnite zero build. So without further ado, this is the MF Breakdown. Let's hop straight into it. So in this first clip, this is a end game situation, and I'm gonna go ahead and start rolling the clip. We are right outside of the ice POI, and my teammate calls out that there is a player rotating right out in the open. And so when I see this guy out in the open, I know that this is open season, okay? Now there's a couple things that I want to draw your attention to in this situation, right? So the first thing is that I am up on high ground and this player is running wide out in the open. Now, if you are in end game, you need to be looking for height, right? So I thought this through before we ended up in this location of the zone, and I positioned myself in a way that I had the advantage. And if you watched my previous video, you know that I talk about understanding that internal feeling of advantage and disadvantage. So this guy's out in the open. I'm going to play the clip. Boom. I'm looking at him. Now I've absolutely fried this player. And so he gets a bunker down because obviously he's trying to get himself composed, get himself together, whatever it might be. Now, one of the things I want to talk about in this video specifically is how to apply pressure and when to apply pressure, right? So in this situation, it is an end game situation. I know that this guy is cracked. I also know that he is one of the last players remaining. So I know that I need to keep putting pressure on this player, right? So I'm gonna roll the clip, and I have a Cybertron cannon, and boom, I'm just gonna start griefing his bunker. Now, if you saw where I shot this Cybertron cannon, it was very intentional. It was this top left corner. Now, I shot the top left corner because there is a chance that I could do damage on him inside the bunker, as opposed to shooting it directly at the front of the bunker and not being able to do damage, but obviously damage the structure. So shooting it at the top left corner gives you the opportunity to not only damage the structure, but maybe even damage the player as well. So I shoot the first shot. I know that he's still in there, so I'm going to shoot again. Boom, 110 white. Now at this point, I know that this guy is shambles. I know that the zone is closing in on us as well, but I need to get this player out, right? Because I want his teammate to be at an extreme disadvantage. So I maintain height. Now, some of you guys, maybe you're watching this and you might have jumped down on this player and tried to seal the deal, right? But when he jumped down, even though I know that he's a bullet, I'm not going to give up my position. Why? I have an MK. I can reload it. He's wide out in the open. There's no need for you to forfeit your position, right? Maybe if it's the last player and you know that he's 1 HP, but one of the things that I want you to walk away with in this video is you need to get patient holding your position, right? It's okay. You'll get a chance to fight him again. But in this situation, again, I'm going to maintain my high ground, and I'm just going to look down and I'm going to keep on beaming this guy, and it's wraps. Now look, apart from the storm damage, I take no damage in that entire fight, and I was completely covered. So this is his teammate right here. And look, even the way that I'm coming down into this, my teammate's going to apply some pressure, but I'm holding my distance, and I'm just going to put some more pressure on this guy, and boom, we win the game. In this next fight, I'm going to start rolling the clip, but there's a part that you're not going to see prior to this. And my teammate had let me know about 30 seconds before this fight, maybe even a little bit longer, but he had been saying over and over, I still have one bunker. I still have one bunker. And the thing that I want to teach about right here is awareness, right? So I'm rotating across right here, and all of a sudden I start getting fried. Now, look around me really quick. All I have is trees, okay? So I've gotten hit with a repeater shot. I've gotten sprayed with the MK. I'm down bad, right? So at this moment, I could freak out, but I remembered earlier in the game that my teammate said that he had one more bunker. So here is where I want you to learn how to really dial in your awareness and your IQ, because this is 200 IQ right here. And if you can develop skills like this, you will become a better zero build player. It will change your game overall. So let's get back into it. What I'm doing in this moment is I'm calling for him to throw the bunker in front of all these bullets. Now, some people wouldn't think about that, but it's thoughts like this that will keep you alive. So boom, I'm saying, hey, throw that bunker, and he hears me and he throws it. Now, check that out. That just literally stopped every bit of fire coming at me. And I went from having a tree as cover to now having a bunker as cover, right? So I have time to get my slurp off. I'm running back. I'm looking for cover now. Now I'm healing, and my teammate starts frying one of them because they still felt confident that they were going to beat us with how much damage they did on them, right? So he's commenting to me that he melted one of them, and boom, I start shooting. My aim is awful right here, but I managed to knock one. Now let's talk really quick about the second part of this, which is when to push and when not to push. Now, if you will look at my inventory right here, I have shockwaves and I can close this distance. Now, if I do not have the ability to close this gap quickly, I should not be pushing. And that is something that needs to be learned by players, because you have to be able to recognize, can I close this gap quickly or can I not, right? So obviously I have what I need to be able to close the gap, and I see him knocked, and I know that I have to hop on this right now. Boom, one shockwave, soaring sprints over, and I'm gonna start pressuring this guy, right? I shock intentionally without soaring sprints right there, take a 50-50 with a drum shotgun in the air, and that is wraps for that team, right? So I'm gonna go back really quick and I'm gonna run a couple thoughts by. The first shockwave right here, I know that I have soaring sprints and I'm going to be able to close the gap quickly. And the point of this is, this guy clearly wants to res his teammate. He wants to be able to survive, and he knows that he needs his teammate. So once I have done enough damage and we have a player knock, it is crucial to get on this sooner than later if you have the ability. Like, if I don't have shockwaves in this situation, I probably don't push this guy, okay? So boom. I'm closing the gap and I want to immediately start pressuring this guy. I hit him for 54 and he's going to try to get away from me. Now, the next play right here, also intentional. I choose not to do the soaring sprints, but just do a normal shock so I can close the gap, and boom, I'm right on this guy's head. And I was just going to 50-50 him right here. I didn't know that he had more shockwave. Luckily, his shock bounced me up perfectly and I was able to just start blasting this guy. Unlucky for GG. To kind of wrap all this up, I want to leave you with a couple thoughts. You need to be strategic about where you put yourself in each zone, and especially when you're getting into these later zones. Now, the big takeaways from this video that I hope that you would grab is that in zero build, the high ground position is so valuable and you don't need to give it up. Like, if you don't have to give up the high ground position, don't do it, right? And secondly, the biggest thing that I want you to be able to take away from this is it's time to raise your awareness of what's being seen on the map as far as loot on the ground, and taking a mental note of it, and also taking note of what your teammate is saying as well in a team situation. Because if you remember that bunker play, if I would have not remembered that my teammate said earlier in the game that he had one bunker, I would have never known to call for that. So the only thing that saved my life in that fight right there was that I remembered, that I took mental note, and I raised my awareness levels. Now, here's what I'm going to leave you with. You can become a better zero build player, and it's tweaks like this that will make you better. So again, I'm MF Buddy, and this was another episode of the MF Breakdown.